this is a great place. Natural Arches State Park. I mean, I actually, yeah, it's Natural Arches. I mean, we played football, dude. Yeah, and we played football, we hiked, we rock climbed, we got to check out some Native American history. The Ohlone tribe used to be here. It was called the European, and they used to have a village right near here. The Spaniards and the Europeans almost wiped them out with disease. But yeah, man, we adventured. I went birding. This is a good little trip. That was good, man. I took pictures of flowers. I took pictures of birds. I played football. I went hiking. I went in the water.
Cemetery, Santa Cruz.
Here it is, Evergreen Cemetery.
Bet you it's nice to go biking here. I love this Natural Bridges State Park. But like I say, I mean, there's so many people friggin' like getting sexual on the beach. Here I am friggin' climbing cliffs and shit, and everybody's like, you know. Whoa. You see that wave that hit the rocks? Splashed up like 15 feet, dude. Yeah, I got some good splash pictures. The Big Sur is 30 miles from here. It's the surf capital of the world, man. Huh? The Big Sur. And they get some big waves. You don't go swimming in the Big Sur unless you got a surfboard, you know? Alright, folks, I'm out of here. Check out our site, www.paranormalghostsociety.org. We're leaving Natural Bridges. Had a good time with the family, and now it's time to go to Evergreen Cemetery, and then we're going to order a pizza and get in the jacuzzi and call it a night. And tomorrow, we'll go to Seymour Aquarium, Santa Cruz Memorial Cemetery, which is haunted by a headless ghost, and we'll check out the Arboretum for some New Zealand. Some New Zealand and South African flowers. Cannot wait. And a butterfly garden, which really makes me cream my pants, because I'm a butterfly and flower type of guy. I do. I love my flowers and butterflies. I love them. Nice little cemetery, huh, guys? This place is nice. You got your camera? Got your camera? Yeah, you do. No? Look at the old sign, Evergreen Cemetery. Oh, I love this place. I heard some good things about here.
Watch out, watch out.
Till 7, got an hour.
7?
Yeah. Well, till sunset. Look, 1850. It's one of the oldest cemeteries in Santa Cruz County. This is like the oldest, so is it worth going to? This is supposed to be a very haunted cemetery in Santa Cruz. I'm sure at night it's a little more active. It's right next to the baseball field.
Next to deer.
What deer?
Look, it has a huge antler. It's just a female. See it?
People tend to forget we're in the Santa Cruz Mountains, man. And there is wildlife, but that's a buck with a doe. And yes, I will attack if you are not careful. Look. Dude. So earlier about the history, I was doing a history video and I had to turn it off because there were some bucks staring me down. He got pretty close. And anyhow, as I was saying, it's a very haunted cemetery. The first person at the site buried was a 19-year-old baby named Julius Arcanes, whose family lost her while crossing Death Valley in 1850. The Arcane family not only formed the cemetery, they were also the first to name Death Valley. Serious. Wow. There are some ghost stories here. For example, the ghost of Arena Gulch, believed to be the spirit of Andrew Jack Sloan, a man who was shot dead in the Gulch in 1865 by Jose Rodriguez and Faustino Lorenzina. I guess Sloan was living on 7th Avenue in Santa Cruz, and he was murdered. He was riding his horse on Old Soco Road, coming back from dinner in Santa Cruz, And in the newspaper, which is Santa Cruz Daily Sentinel, they reported that his funeral was one of the largest in Santa Cruz history. There's a San Andreas fault that runs through here too. So a lot of the graves are broken and cracked due to tremors. Mild ones, like the wall. But the ghost that haunts the cemetery of Arena Gulch is a figure people see in the trees. Long black jacket. Wears a brim hat. And a woman and her daughter were driving their buggy through Arena Gulch in 1895. So the ghost stories date back to the 1800s. And it was even in the Santa Cruz Daily Sentinel that saw an apparition, talks about the apparition. However, the man that had been killed during dinner that was discussing, his deaths had sparked some racial tensions up in the Santa Cruz area. Here's the thing. Arena Gulch is nearby, okay, near the cemetery. It's not far from here. And it's not the ghost. The ghost haunts Arena Gulch. However, the spirit is of Andrew Jack Sloan. So let me just clarify that, because when I was talking about it earlier, I didn't really clarify what I was trying to get at. But what I was trying to say is that Arena Gulch is haunted by the spirit of this man, which is also buried in the cemetery. And the man who carried Jack Sloan from the Gulch, when he was murdered, saw the apparition, a man named Thomas Sweeney. Sloan's ghosts have been reported over the years. Heavy jacket, kind of a broad brim hat. Young couple seen him near Arena Gulch. On foggy nights he's often seen. Yeah, they get a lot of fog here. The Grand Army Republic section, where veterans of the Civil War are buried, and the Chinese section are also said to be haunted. There's a little stove where the deceased clothing and money was burned so that she would not have them in the afterlife. So that's haunted by a, like I said, the female ghost. What? Ready?
Yeah, ready?
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Holy shit, dude. This is, my knees are killing me. I don't know how much more I can take. I'm done, dude. Now, I don't know about the ghost that haunts the Civil War Cemetery or Grand Army of the Republic. I do know that the Chinese were mistreated, so the clothing and money and every artifacts of the female ghosts were burned. So it's a really haunted cemetery. And I'll talk about some notable burials here as well as we do the cemetery. But for now, I'm going to smoke my pipe and try to relax. I'm very tired. 3 days of non-stop driving and going. No.
The thing that you put dead
Not against the wall.
No, right here. Someone put a dead body, like something. It said this
landslide.
Yeah, see the landslide? Because the mud comes down the rock. See the ravine? This ravine, this might be the ravine. It's called Arena Gulch, where the man was murdered. So the ghost is often seen in the back of the cemetery here. So this is a good area to investigate ghosts. There's like 2 female ghosts that haunt this area too. It's a good spot to smoke. It's a good spot for me to sit down and chill for a few minutes till we can do the other part of the cemetery over to our right. Yeah, folks. Oh yeah, the stairs up. Mm-hmm. Through the gulch. Used to continue through the gulch.
it goes up like that.
Can you believe we're in the city of Santa Cruz, right guys? And there's a buck standing in the cemetery with a doe and a fawn, and they're just staring. He was about to attack me. He was approaching me and getting ready to charge. Where'd you get those?
Down there.
That's blurry. Show me them.
Nope.
That's better. That's a good one. Those are
But
blue.
they're purple.
Blue or purple?
They're purple.
Oh, careful, dude. Okay.
Shake my hand. That's me.
Nice to meet you.
You too.
No EMF here. At the mystery spot, I got some EMF, but there's a lot of electrical lines and transformers around the property, so I can't say it's real. But the people who arrived in the 1800s, folks, and helped change Santa Cruz, because it started off as a Mexican village, then eventually a Spanish or Catholic mission. I said Christian earlier, it was my mistake. Catholic, Christian, you know what I'm saying. I mean, I'm only human when I do these videos. I got to concentrate on walking, and it's hard to always get my facts straight. So when people watch, they always get on my case. It's like, just chill. I correct everything on my website. You can go to my website and see the real history. Sometimes I do videos spontaneously and I don't have all the facts till after the investigation. But Catholic, Christian, there was a Spanish mission here. And they raised cattle, mainly, and indicted many of the local Native Americans into the Catholicism, the practice of it. It's an old cemetery, 160 years old, so there's a lot of broken stones. There is a certain amount of vandalism. But you had every type that lived around this area, or came to this area in the 1800s, which are notable residents of Evergreen Cemetery. You had artists and Chinese immigrants and Civil War veterans, people from the Sierras, Yankees, lawyers, infants, Masons, Order of Oddfellow members, other fraternal organizations, gold prospectors after the gold rush came to settle on the beach in Santa Cruz, artists, business owners, notable, like I said, many notable people. We'll get into the notable people in a little bit. We also have a little heart shape in the heart pattern in the stone or the brickwork or stonework. There are bricks or old bricks. It's kind of cobblestone here. A lot of cobblestone. And you had your lawyers and railroad tycoons in the area. It's just the type of place it was. A lot of notables here. There are about 2,000 people found in this cemetery. What? Huh? What blue ones? Oh, where? But just about every stone has a tale. You have to understand there are some other things about the cemetery, like the ghost stories. You know, you got about 2,000 people buried here, so yeah, it's a really cool little place. Wood steps, man. Here we go. All right, I'm coming down. But you can see, I mean, there's a lot of broken stones. This is the yoke path. Everything has a label. Everything's really well put together here. I've taken some EMF readings. Hey guys. Yo, you got my EMF detector? Huh? Oh. You got your phone hidden or what? Because you're a camera, dude.
It's not cool.
Hold on, man. I want pictures with this stuff. Well, I got to get my camera on, or my recorder. It's a Blackburn family. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go visit some more notable residents or interments.
Tammy.
I'm not Tammy, dude. You see my son, he's got a mask on. It's kind of funny, there's some ghost hunters here, some girls goffed out. Fucking these girls are ghost hunting. Like wannabe ghost hunters. Oh, we're looking for ghosts. Oh, we're looking for ghosts. People, they're all goffed out in the cemetery. It's like, oh, you know, I'm goffed out, so now I'm into cemeteries. I know, I'm being horrible. Sorry, folks. I'm just saying, you know, there's a lot of people in this field who call themselves ghost hunters just because they go in cemeteries and think they're cool, you know. I come in cemeteries because I'm trying to do a research project, and we are looking for any entities or spiritual activity as well, so we can provide documentation of it so people can enjoy the history and the ghosts that go with it. Nice Masonic grave. Let's talk a little bit about the notables. Stories that they were treated so bad here. There was a little oven and they used to burn all the you know, when people left things on graves like money and clothing and, you know, memorials, people were prejudiced against the Chinese. They'd come back here and burn it all. We're in the Chinese section, man. See the Chinese symbol up there? Born a slave in 1800
He donated all of his money.
of South Carolina plantation. Oh, wow.
To create the school district here.
Really? Wow. I'm surprised he didn't hate humans after becoming a slave and been like, I'm not donating shit to you people. Well, he was in South Carolina, but Loudon Nelson, native of Tennessee, he was a colored man and willed all his property to Santa Cruz School District. Rest in peace. Yeah, he was a slave in 1800. This is, I mean, this dates back a long time. I mean, he lived in 1800 and ended up being buried here, came to Santa Cruz. Totally opposite coast, because that back, there was a lot of, you know, hate back then. That's a Chinese, okay, it's a Chinese cemetery area. There are ghost stories back here. Take a quick peek. Folks, it's huge. There's a lot of nature here. There's deer. It's in the city of Santa Cruz, but there's still deer. People forget this is Santa Cruz. Kind of sits in the wilderness, which is built along the beach in the redwood forest. That's so creepy, dude. Huh? Your eyes are creepy in the mask. Let's come down here. We got to go over here, Civil War section.
Private.
Oh, yes. But I still got to go here. There's a sign. Oh. Oh, yeah, they got some enclosures, some wood enclosures. There's a bunch. This is all Civil War up the hill, and Civil War, Chinese in the back. Most of the Chinese graves are fallen or vandalized because, like I say, there was a lot of racism in California against the Chinese. Santa Cruz Mountains kind of overshadow the town. We were up in those mountains, man. I've been to the top of the range driving. It's a beautiful mountain range. It's gorgeous here. Yes. Here, Jared. No, power lines, dude.
Yeah, it's on 4.
It's accurate. There's a transformer right there. This section's a whole separate cemetery. Look. See how it's got its own gate? No. We're going to walk along the fence and get those graves. And then the entrance, and then some more on our way out. We'll walk along the fence and come out near the Jeep. So that's what our plan is. We're going to go ahead. But look at this. This is own cemetery right here. Chinese and the Civil War are here. Ow. Something just stung me, man. A bee just stung me or something. That hurt. I just got stung. Huh?
The date's Masonic.
Oh, yeah. This is a Masonic section right here.
Oh, it is.
Earlier I was telling you about some notables. Well, Nelson London Loudon, was a slave in North Carolina. He arrived in Santa Cruz in the 1850s as a free man. He bought land near the main post office, what is now the main post office. And when the two-school room had closed in Santa Cruz, he was illiterate, but he gave his entire estate to Santa Cruz School District, and it resulted in the school reopening. Isaac Graham optimized a popular perception of the lawless Wild West. Before earning a street in his name, the gun-toting mountain man helped overthrow a Mexican governor, ran a distillery, and helped found the first water-power sawmill in Felton, where the redwoods are today, where we went today. So there's a connection. Along the way, he made a fair share of enemies, and was believed to be poisoned to death in San Francisco. What's that? Gun Clamper died in 1890, buried Eclampus Vitus. Huh. Eclampus Vitus. We went to the founding ghost town of it. It's a fraternal group, like the Masons, Eclampus Vitus. They also help families, like they set up shelters for women that, like, where their minors died. They would create a fund for the females and the kids.
Doesn't answer my question. What's
A Clampus? It's like Krampus, but Clampus. Kind of like that, right? Krampus, Clampus. Then we have Marie Holmes, was an alleged prostitute, and at the age of 21 committed suicide by carbolic acid on Pacific Avenue, a couple blocks from her. But like many individuals buried here, her headstone was missing at some point during the cemetery's neglected years. 2 years ago, a hiker found it laying on the side of a steep forested hill near Bonnie Doon, 12 miles from the site, and they restored it in 2013. Jared, they found a stone that belonged here 12 miles away on a side of a hill of a prostitute.
Really?
A hiker found it 12 miles from here. They refixed her tombstone. I haven't seen it, but it's here. We just got done talking about Isaac Graham. Fought a Mexican governor. He ran a distillery and then found the first water-powered sawmill in Felton. Can't even read this one. Wow. Stone's broken severely. The top is. Okay, so look.
Oh, yeah,
And they put a brick on there. It's some homeless person's clothes.
And
So we know someone sleeps here at night. And you got another broken stone here. But there's like a hole. You can't take any EMF readings here, because if you do, I got a picture of a flower to get. I'll be right back. I was telling you guys about AJ Sloan. He was a private in the Mexican-American War. Was accredited for being famous for the ghost of Arena Gulch. And I guess he was murdered in the gulch. His ghost has haunted this area ever since. Yet Evergreen volunteer recently found evidence his death may have been faked. This suggests that the early sighting of his ghost may have actually been a living person, not fake. And here's a historic plaque. It talks about the California pioneers. I'll put a copy on my site and you can read it on my website. It's very interesting. And we have the grave of Grove C. Cook, native of Kentucky, came to California as a member of the Bidwell-Bartleson Party, the first overland immigrant wagon train to set out to the United States to cross the continent of the Pacific coast. The party was forced to abandon his wagons in eastern Nevada after blazing a trail across the desert immediately north of Great Salt Lake. The party, after detouring south along the eastern flank of Sierra Nevada in order to find a crossing, entered Mexican Alta California by route, which has traversed the Sierra Nevada and vicinity of the Sonora Pass. They arrived at Dr. John Marsh's ranch at the base of Mount Diablo in Contra Costa County in 1841. And after a journey of 6 months, Cook worked for John C. Sutter at Sutter's Fort in Sacramento for 7 years before settling in Santa Clara Valley. Took part in the War in Mexico, California's bid for statehood. He served the Alcalde Committee for the Pueblo de San Jose, operated a boarding house at the time, was active political affairs in California. In 1845, he bought the Rancho de los Capitalinos near San Jose, on which the New Almaden Quicksilver mine was later developed. He thus became the first American and part of the historic mine. And a piece of cinnabar ore donated by a New Almaden's Quicksilver County Park Association is fixed to the base of the monument, which is, the ore is right here. And we'll post the rest on our site. It says Cook died in February 1852 while on a visit to Santa Cruz. And so he's honored here. And it goes on. It says members of the Arcanes family braved Death Valley in 1849. It says right here, several other early immigrants are also buried here. Among them are William Blackburn, member of the Swesey Top Party in 1845, members of the Emis family, a Joseph Aram Party, 1846, members of the Arcane family who braved Death Valley. Now the website said Arcana. Okay, it's not Arcana, it's Arcane. And they traveled through Death Valley, and the first burial here was their child. And they were in 1849 crossing Death Valley. Look at this. Oh my God, there's graves scattered everywhere. They're not legible either. Very worn because they're on the ground. So the elements kind of hit them. So Sloan's ghost hunts here. It says, Rainy Lehman, instrumental in the preservation of Evergreen Cemetery, tours the cemetery with biographical sketches of many of the pioneer people buried here, including Isaac Graham, Loudon, Nelson, Judge Washburn, and the Chinese men who built the railroads. Okay, folks, I just did some more research. Arana Gulch, according to Phil Reeder, is wooded and overlooks the east side where Sokol Avenue near Capitola Road is. That's near our hotel, but it's a few miles. And a lot of the farmers, Jackson Sloan, he was a farmer, was gunned down by a vigilante who was taking the horse trail. His apparition seen here in the cemetery as well as in the gulch. I mean, it's like around the tree, dude. Is the tree historic or something? It's a newer section. These graves are a little newer over here. Look, there's a crypt over there. See it? That's what I want to go to before we leave, because I seen it when we drove by. The woman who seen Jack Sloan's ghost was telling locals, and they're like, man, you seen his ghost, because he was describing him after he died. Of course, some people say he was still alive, and it was just a misunderstanding, never died. I don't know. There was a lot of prejudice or racism. By the way, folks, not only did Alfred Hitchcock work out of Santa Cruz up in the mountains to write his stories, but there was more serial killers, I think, in the 60s and 70s than anywhere in the country in Santa Cruz. A lot of murders, a lot of death, and it was going on in the mid-1800s. So a lot of these people that are buried here met tragic ends. And so I took a lot of pictures here, because, I mean, I'm in old cemeteries, because I like to preserve them and show the vandalism. It's just something we do for the Paranormal and Ghost Society. And I'm one of these people that I do believe in putting this on my website so people can learn about the notable residents and the pioneers. There's a couple pioneer plaques I photographed, and we'll have it on our site because we want you to learn. If you're far away and you can't visit here, the only way you're going to learn is by coming here. I forgot to show you guys this. Look at this. Oh man, you see how terrible? I mean, it's deplorable. So I just wanted to show you what we're dealing with. But the history is important. Yeah, there's ghost stories, but it's not just the ghosts that matter. But today, this place is more of a park than it is a cemetery. People use it as a local park to kind of jog through it. And it is. You know what I'm saying? It is. It has, I mean, like I say, it's a park. There's flowers. It's beautiful. Look, there's a bench. It's across from Harvey Park. It's the oldest cemetery in Santa Cruz, besides the hidden Spanish ones when they came, the explorers came. They have some unmarked ones. By the way, folks, in 1973, it was awarded landmark status in the Santa Cruz Museum of Arts and History. Added to the Historic Building Survey in 1989. Here are the sections. It includes the Masonic, Grand Army of the Republic, which is Civil War, the old section, which is Powder Field for people who could not afford a grave site, so those are unmarked, Chinese area, private burial areas, and extensions which were added in the 1940s, and up in the hills where a lot of the graves are overgrown. They had a lot of famous people, a lot of pioneers here, and this place is relevant to Santa Cruz history. And not only is it relevant, but keep one more thing in mind. There's a second cemetery that just was erected a few years, I believe, after, in the 1860s. It's called Santa Cruz Memorial. It's near our hotel. We're going to go to it first thing in the morning when it's foggy. But I'm going to tell you a little something about it. It's the sister cemetery of Evergreen. Came a little later, and the graves are just as old, and there are ghost stories. There's 3-4 ghost stories here, and where we're going tomorrow, there's tales of a headless ghost. So I really look forward to doing it. Check out our site, www.paranormalghostsociety.org. One last time to look at the cemetery. I just want to walk up to the Masonic section, which is locked. You can't enter it. It's private. You can still take pictures from the gate. It's still part of the cemetery. It just has its own section or plot. I couldn't get it from the front. I had to go in the front. You can see the Masonic symbol on the stones.